Hello, and welcome to Tea and a Buddy podcast with me, Dominic.
And me, Erica.
And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about summer holidays in the UK and the US.
Yes.
The end. Well, no, we're just going to be talking about the differences between the British summer holiday and what British people do as opposed
What
to...
do British people do?
We go on holiday.
No, I mean, obviously the first difference is we don't say summer holidays in America.
Vacation. We're taking a vacation.
Yeah, we say vacation. We say summer vacation.
I need a vacation, summer vacation. But it's like, do Americans actually go on holiday? Because they might be working all the time.
Yeah.
And is there, when I was researching this, it was very interesting to note that, the differences. I mean, it's location, it's geographical location too, as well. So, people in the US might prefer to go to another state.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Usually what it would be is like...
It's cheaper.
It's cheap. Oh, I don't know. I mean, driving may seem cheaper because, domestic flights over here are quite expensive. But, we can kick off with Britain to begin with. And, if in Britain, if you're thrifty and you don't want to go anywhere out of the country, you don't want to go abroad. Ringo doesn't want to go abroad, so they said. Beatles reference, Effie. So, if you live in, the south of England, you might go to, Margate, which is in Kent, Bognor Regis, Bournemouth, Eastbourne, Brighton, Torquay. These are all places on the coast. Newquay, Tenby in Wales. Because they're all, seaside holidays is the big thing, with the people, the traditional, sand and sandcastles and
The one piece
ice cream.
The one piece stripy bathing suits.
Yes, the Victorian bathing suits, as everybody likes to think, and people in deck chairs on the sand with the British
You're
flag.
a deck chair.
You're a deck chair. People in deck chairs with the British flag on, and old men who want to cover their head from the sun with white handkerchiefs that twist at the corner.
Yeah, that is so weird. I didn't even know.
Little beach huts.
Pick up a hat. What's wrong with you?
No, the hats, it's just one of those things. I suppose it's supposed to keep your head cool too, because it's a white handkerchief. It keeps the sun away and all this kind of stuff. Yes, it's one of those. It's ancient traditions, But yeah, I'm sure it goes back to Victorian times, with the beach huts and everything like that,
Yeah.
People want to go places like Blackpool in the north. If you're living in the north, you usually don't really want to travel down south.
Oh, because it's so far away.
It's like Game of Thrones. You don't want to go down there because, they don't know us down there. We don't like the south, so we'll go to places like Blackpool, Southport, Whitby, Skegness, which is like Skeg Vegas. They call that Skeg Vegas.
Why?
Because apparently there's a lot of lights and there's a mini strip or something there.
Oh yeah.
I think you can gamble. I think you can gamble all over Britain, but it's they've kind of styled it as like Las Vegas of the North, whatever, Skegness, the Lake District, people go to.
Yeah.
And the Peak
really
District.
Beautiful.
Yeah, those are areas of outstanding natural beauty.
Yeah.
AONB for short. And then, of course, if you live in Scotland, North Berwick is another good seaside place. The Isle of Arran, which was a summer. I remember people coming over for summer when I was living there as a kid,
Yeah.
And I made a few friends, and they come over for I don't know, 2 weeks or 3 weeks in the summer, and then go back home. Usually English people, funnily enough, There's a place called Portobello, which I think is, I'm not really too sure where that is in Scotland. Oban, Saltcoats, which is just west of Glasgow. Durness, which is in the Highlands, where John Lennon crashed his car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
Beatles reference again.
Beatles reference again. And Erica's favourite, Peterhead.
I'm not sure why that's my favorite, but because I say that all the
You
time.
say that all the time. She calls people Peterheads randomly. That Peterhead over there, what's he doing? You're a PETA.
It's nicer than the alternative, isn't it?
Anyway, there's a place for people to go who are PETA heads. It's called PETA Head.
I think it's funny
it's in Aberdeenshire. I think my great grandfather was from there. Actually,
I think it's funny that anyone would want to go. I mean, I guess not. I guess we have Lisa Rinna on Instagram, and she's in Canada right now. So I guess it's not so weird to go north during the summer. But I think
it's cooler.
But I think of summertime, you want to go to a beach. I mean, I know a lot of the places in the north that you just named, like Blackpool and I guess
they want to go to the beach
and everything.
Yeah.
They have beaches. Yeah,
they're all beach towns. Yeah.
But they're northern towns, so the water's got to be freezing, and the weather can't be that great.
No, I mean, the water is always freezing around Britain. It's not like when we went to Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
A couple of summers ago, and the water was like a bath water. It was so warm. It was I've never been in ocean water. I mean, I know it's the Gulf, so it's a different kind of like temperature or whatever. But I've only been in like the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean, and even the Mediterranean was cold. I mean, we went in
November.
But even in summer, I remember going on the beach in Benidorm, and the water was bloody freezing. You know, to me as a kid.
Yeah, the Gulf, they have a lot of problems. Actually, the last few years they've had problems with like bacteria growing in the water because it is so warm. And I
mean, there's a lot of oil stuff going on in there.
Anything to do with the temperature of the water?
Well, no, it doesn't. But they're pumping stuff in and whatever, you know, and digging up and just, you know, I'm sure it's like got to have some sort of effect on the climate there, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just very warm. I remember it was very, very warm.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm used to very cold sea, even when it's blazing hot outside. You know, maybe it was just, you know, my memories of it, but I don't know really. You know. And speaking of that, if you have a bit more money in Britain, package deals to like Spain go a long way, and they're very popular.
When you say a bit, you literally mean a bit, because these package deals do not cost that much money, really. I mean,
when we'd book a holiday,
it's not like how much it would cost to fly from America to go to Spain on a package deal.
It would be we'd go to the travel house, which was in the town we lived, and that would be like travel agents. This was like pre people going online and booking their own holidays and stuff like that, because the internet was still a new thing. So you'd have the travel house, which was a travel agent, or you'd have Thomas Cook or Thompson's or whatever, you know, these holidays that, like, you know, they'd have them in the window as you passed, like fortnight in Greece, you know, fortnight in say Athens,
right,
for £198 return.
Yeah.
Which was £200.
And a fortnight, for any of you who don't know, is 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yes. That's 2 weeks with...
It's another term we don't really use in America.
£198 return. And sometimes... Accommodation, tours, and flights all included in that.
Yeah. That
was how easy it was. And you go in, you'd book the holiday, and you'd be out of there. You go to Greece in 2 weeks or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. It would just be like we just go window shopping. I remember we booked a holiday to Turkey like that, and I think it was even cheaper. I think it was like £99 return, which was like, you know, I mean, over here you don't really see that.
Well, no.
I mean, you've never experienced that. I mean, because it's geographical location. You know, it's just short flight.
But is it though? Because I mean, like you mentioned at the top of the podcast, you can't really fly anywhere in the States even for $99 and get accommodations and
there's something
tours. Like, I don't know.
Just up the price.
I don't know what that's all about.
I mean, it's just, I guess, I don't know what it was. I mean, it's still cheap today. I mean, there's cheap airlines today. With Brexit, I don't know how that's going to go now, but
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's going to stay the same, where people will riot. People will get really cheesed off with it. Other like places like I went to Benidorm, and I went to Greece, and we went to the Balearic Islands, which are Ibiza, Mallorca, or Majorca, as many British people like to call it.
Yeah.
You're calling it Majorca. And they're hugely popular, especially Ibiza is where all the young kids go, It's because it's like clubbing and partying and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with. It's just because it's so cheap in Spain, I guess. It's appealing to British people.
It's very cheap, and it's the sun and the sand, and it's a great life. People move down there. My dad's moved there to Spain, not to the Balearics, but other popular countries are like Greece, and especially the Greek islands like Crete and stuff like that. We went to Crete once, and it was really beautiful. Turkey, again, some parts of Turkey, ones that border Iraq, not the part that borders Iraq isn't so great, but the one that's closer to Europe and Greece and stuff is better. Is like more popular. And the Canary Islands, which is, I think you have ancestors there.
Ancestors from the Canary Islands.
Yeah, that's really popular with Britain. It's owned by Spain. Lanzarote and Tenerife.
Just off the coast of Africa.
Just off the coast of Africa. Yeah. I think I went there as a baby, and I don't remember it, but
Yeah.
But people were going there in the 80s. So
what about things like camping? Is that very popular in Britain, or
it can be, but there's a lot of like private land in Britain.
Yeah.
And you've got to get permits and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's not like here where I guess we could just pick up and go somewhere and camp out in the night, and it just kind of like, it's like okay, unless someone goes, oh, wait a minute, that's my land,
Well, no, I mean, you generally have to find a state park or somewhere. Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can camp in like national parks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Without like a permit or whatever.
I know caravanning. Isn't that what you guys call it in Britain?
Yeah, that's another thing. There's a lot of caravan parks.
Summers, right?
Yeah, caravans are very popular because I mean I've never been on a caravan holiday, but yeah,
caravan is basically what we call a motorhome.
It is
a bit smaller, I guess.
But you can also have a trailer version. It used to be like a trailer.
Yeah, a camper van. That's what we call it.
I remember we had a caravan that came with our property in Arran, and it was just like one of those ones that were just like on the property.
What do you pull that with, though? Because you guys don't really have like pickup trucks.
Yeah, but you can pull it with a car.
Can you?
Yeah. I mean, they're quite lightweight. As people know, when winds gust through or, someone gets a bit raucous in a caravan, they can tip it over, Yeah. I mean, they usually just have like one little bathroom, a little tiny kitchenette, and its little seating area and a bed, and that's it. And seating area can kind of like turn into a bed as well.
Yeah.
But they're very tiny. I think they're kind of like they're old-fashioned now. If you see them, they're very old-fashioned. Because they've just got like two wheels and they're like a trailer.
Because people
like
over here.
Little home on a trailer, it's tiny.
Yeah. Like we have.
I've never seen
RVs.
one over here. Yeah, you have RVs, which are like
a bus.
Like a bus, yeah.
Yeah, so that's caravanning, camping. What about like amusement parks?
Yeah, I mean you can go to a music park. Alton Towers is one of the bigger ones. Legoland.
But a lot of the boardwalks on the beaches they have amusements,
carnival type things they call like amusements, they call them.
Yeah.
Going down the arcade or the amusements. Going down to the amusements.
The amusements.
That's what I called it as a kid.
Freaking British people.
The amusements, because they amused you. They were like little like centers with like games and stuff, you could play.
Like carnival games.
Carnival games, also like video games, and also like I'm trying to think that the grabbing one,
Yeah, the claw.
The claw.
Yeah.
Dance Revolution or whatever, shooting games and all that, and hockey and table hockey, I think it is.
Because
that was my favorite table. And pool, of course. You can play pool and snooker.
Because why I asked is, like, I can imagine it's fun for adults to go to Spain or Turkey or Greece or, you know, whatever, but kids don't care.
Kids don't care unless
they don't care about the history, particularly of a place.
When I was a kid, right, what I used to love doing, well, especially in Benidorm and Greece Greece, I remember specifically, we had this, like, hotel that had this kind of, like, rooftop terrace. And, it had a pool, and it had a little, like, food stand, which was operated by the hotel. It was just this hut. And the girl who was working there, she'd come in, and she'd make chips, and maybe a burger for people.
Yeah.
All Greek. And, you know, we'd be swimming in the pool all day, and I'd go and get chips, and that's all I'd care about. It was like, oh, it's like swimming in the pool, splashing around, you know, lying on the lilo.
Yeah.
Messing around with whatever other kids were there, you know, making friends with them, and getting up and saying, oh, want some chips, and going back and doing it all again, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I cared about, going in the pool all the time. You know, I was just swimming like crazy.
Yeah.
We go on tours to, like, Ephesus and stuff like that in Turkey, this was.
Right.
Or tours to, like, local things, and I just like...
yeah, I mean...
I you know, I was just like, want to get back to the pool. When are we going home to the pool, you know?
Yeah, because in America, summer vacation for school lasts a lot longer than it does in Britain. So you have kids home from school and out of school for months. It used to be nearly 3 months, but I think it's just over 2 months now. But I don't know, maybe 2.5 months.
What I discovered when I was doing my research about American summer holidays is what, you know, it's, you know, you'd think, oh, they don't really go out the country, they just go from state to state, you know, Disneyland, Disney World.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think the American dream vacation,
a national park or state park or just a road trip.
The American dream vacation, if you're a kid, especially, or if you have kids, or, I mean, of course, people without kids want to go there too. You and I have never been, and I would love to go to Disneyland.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Disneyland.
Disneyland, if you're listening, we would like to go there.
Yeah, send us free tickets.
We'll podcast about
it.
A British person's first
I know you don't really
Disneyland
have
experience.
Many people who go to Disneyland, so you need all the press you can get.
Right. But I think that is the ultimate, like, well, I mean, that's basically what National Lampoon's Vacation
Wally's
movie
World
was all
or
about.
something,
Yeah,
it was
but
like,
it was basically like the idea of going to Disneyland. Like, everybody wants to go to Disneyland in the summer. It's very expensive, though. I mean, that's why we haven't gone. It's very, very expensive to go there, and you can only really see a fraction of the park if you go in a single day. And tickets are like, I don't know, $75-$100 a person, I think.
Yeah, I think they're pretty.
You know, so to see a fraction of the park, you're not getting really. Are you really getting your money's worth? Yeah, you need at very least a whole weekend, if not longer, and so I think a lot of families save up for that kind of thing. You know, that's like the ultimate summer vacation trip if you're a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, we went to Disneyland this summer. You know,
went to Disneyland and.
But other than that,
Disneyland, yeah.
Yeah, I see in your notes for adults, I think, and I think they're really trying to market it toward families and kids now, because I think it used to be associated with just old people.
Yes. Now, well, yeah, this is all I saw when it's like, oh, where do Americans go on summer holidays?
Yeah.
And it was like mostly it's a cruise around the Caribbean.
Oh yeah,
it's getting on a cruise ship. It's not far, or a European river cruise.
Oh yeah,
which to me is a little bit like you're just going to stay in a floating hotel.
I think that would be that's the kind of cruise I would rather take, a European river cruise. I'd rather do that.
But the thing is, it's like if you think about the people taking these cruises with their kids, they're not getting off the ship, really.
Yeah, there's so many things on the ship.
There's so many other things on the ship.
The kids would rather stay on the ship because
there's so many things.
Water slides and games and movie theaters and shows and just arcades,
playgrounds, whatever. Yeah. It's just all, and food, of course,
shopping
and it's the same with the adults. Most adults are gonna be, I want to stay on the ship because I don't like the food and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been on a cruise. You've never been on a cruise.
I mean, no.
It's never really appealed to me. But I will say the older I'm getting, the more it's like, oh, maybe,
I mean, I'd like to do it, like, I remember my dad was going to say, he's like, oh, we're going to, him and his ex-girlfriend, we're going to do a cruise to New York from Southampton, like the Titanic, which is, and we're going to spend a night in New York. And I was like, what's the point in doing that? You're just going to be on the ship all the time.
Yeah.
So you're just paying for a cruise.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying a river cruise would be more fun, I think, because I would think that there's going to be more stops than if you were out on the ocean. Yeah. I've also heard that Alaskan cruises are really, really beautiful, like any time of year. So that I
wouldn't mind doing a cruise for just like the experience of like, okay, going down and seeing whatever's and like the free buffet or whatever it is,
But yeah, definitely. But as far as traveling during the summer in America, I think road trips are the big thing rather than to fly places. People take road trips. The Grand Canyon, like you said, state
Mount
parks.
Rushmore, yeah.
Go to the
Redwood Forest.
You might go to the big city, whatever your nearest big city is.
Yeah.
And just like explore around.
Cancun in Mexico is another place that Americans go to, and Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic.
And Hawaii.
They're all like American-style resorts, though. There.
Oh yeah.
It's just like you just basically.
Oh, Americans are afraid to get off the resort. It's in Mexico.
Well, yes.
It's like, oh no, don't get off the resort.
It's like very Americanized service, cuisine, and everything taken care of for you. It's very kind of like that. Whereas in Britain it was different because it's like if you booked a hotel, if you booked a package deal, it was like things were taken care of for you, but it's like you still had to, you still had local guides, and you still had,
I think you have local guides and.
But it's like you didn't. It was like it wasn't like an American style resort or anything, or it wasn't like a British style resort or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like it wasn't like a load of English people there. It's like if you go to like other countries like Spain.
You told me there was a load of. You told me it was only English people on all of these trips that you went to.
Well, yeah, I mean that's in Turkish on the Turkish trip. It was we had 20. We stayed in a small hotel in Uludeniz. And it was only 20 rooms, and they were all British people.
Yeah.
It was nobody else. No other country.
It sounds the same. You mentioned having chips. It's like they're not going to be eating chips, are they? They were making chips because it's all British people.
No, well, yeah, and that's what I mean.
Yeah, so it's really the same thing.
It's like kind of the same thing.
They're catering to British people over there.
But I also was in Turkey. I was also having these excellent kebabs. These excellent, like, shish kebabs, chicken kebabs. They were so good. They were grilled to perfection.
I mean, you'll get...
I just ate them. I was just eating them and jumping in the pool.
Yeah. I mean, you can get genuine Mexican food. And if you stay in a really expensive resort, you can get really, like, what's the word? You can get really fine Mexican cuisine, like beautiful artistry and everything.
Oh, yeah. The fancy stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Fancy schmancy.
You can get the Americanized stuff also, obviously, but they're going to have... And the farther down you go, it's just different.
Yeah,
as opposed to towns that are up closer to the border or whatever.
South of the border.
Yeah, I mean, they try to make things more fancy in Mexico. I don't know. I'm trying to think... the last time I was like really in Mexico, I mean, you and we crossed the border.
That was only for a couple
of years ago, or last year, was it?
I think it was last year.
Yeah, but it's very different.
I might have a stamp in my passport, actually. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Remember? Yeah.
I can't remember.
I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I can't remember specifically that. Drinking is a big thing in Mexico.
Drinking,
it's just
like in Britain.
Yeah, you're gonna go to Mexico and go out to the clubs. Yeah, they do have clubs there and everything, especially in these resort towns. It's just like it's like a party kind of scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think, as I mentioned, I think camping is big in America in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really been camping. I mean, I know it happens in Britain. I've like Duke of Edinburgh was one of those schemes that, like, Duke of Edinburgh award scheme, you go camping in, like, the mountains or the hills or whatever, know.
Duke of Edinburgh
it's like, it was...
award scheme.
It was some sort of, like, I don't know what... Yeah, I remember my friend was, like, on it. It was something in school.
Yeah.
I, for some reason, didn't sign up for it, or I don't know if you had to qualify for it or something. But it was like an award scheme, the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip patroned,
Mm-hmm.
Basically getting boys out in the, geocaching and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I never went on it, but then I know they camped out for like a couple of nights, places and stuff in Wales. And...
Yeah. I think any city with a beach, a coastline, is popular in the summer here. So
yeah,
particularly Los Angeles.
Yes, yeah. Coast holidays, like they're always popular. Go to the seaside. Let's go to the seaside. Yeah. But it's like I always lived by the sea. I always lived in a seaside town. I was born in a seaside town,
Yeah.
So when people further inland, someone from, say, Derby or something like that in the middle of England would say, oh, I've got to go to the seaside. It's strange to me that they never knew what the seaside was until they went there. You
mean they never knew what it was? Of course they didn't.
Well, no. Well, no, they never, experienced growing up there or something like that,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it was just strange to me when I'd meet kids and stuff who'd never been to the seaside before,
Yeah. Collecting seashells and building sandcastles.
Building sandcastles and, making little moats and coming back from the sea with little buckets of water to fill the moat and,
Yeah, we went, well, you mentioned Corpus Christi. When we took my niece and nephew to Corpus Christi a few years ago.
They've been on our Instagram stories recently.
Yeah. They have their own YouTube channel, Adventures.
Big Stars.
Adventures with
Stars.
AMP, yeah. But we went to Corpus Christi with them, and it was their first time at the beach. And I think that my nephew enjoyed it.
Yeah,
he was quite
enjoyed
little.
it. He enjoyed it really.
He liked the swimming.
Yeah,
he had his little life jacket on.
Very much so enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, but my niece was not so big on it.
No, she was not.
She was expecting like white sand and crystal blue waters like you see on television and movies.
Like Caribbean beaches. And,
yeah. So we got there, and I don't know.
It's just yellow sand and, seagulls everywhere. And
the water's very like kind of brown and murky.
Gray.
Yeah.
Almost.
If you've ever been to the Gulf Coast, I don't know if it's like that
all
the way down. But in Texas, it's very murky. It's not exactly the most beautiful water, but so she wasn't that impressed. But they have said they would like to go back now. So yeah,
I don't think I've ever been to a place with a white beach, sandy beach. I can't remember. Oh yes, I have. In Turkey, we took a boat trip around to. There was a shipwreck. Or maybe it wasn't Turkey, actually. It was Greece. Because the Greek islands, actually, some of the greatest water in the world. And beaches. Yeah, we went, yes, now I remember. There was a shipwreck there, and that was really cool. It was like a genuine shipwreck from, it was a cargo. It wasn't like an 1800s ship, or it was like a cargo ship or something that had just broken up there and just laid there. I can't remember what it's called now. People who've been there will know. I'll look it up later. But that had a white beach. It was like a cove, and it had like a nice white beach there and everything, like a really like fine white sand and blue azure waters and stuff. It was just like, oh wow, this is so cool.
Yeah, I'd love to go.
We'll have to go back there.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
But yeah, so there's still a little bit of summer left.
Yes.
If you still have plans and you haven't had, or maybe
you're on holiday now.
And yeah,
if
let us know.
If you're on holiday, you should be listening to us because you haven't got anything else to do if you're on a cruise.
Right. Or if you're traveling, yeah. But let us know where you're planning on going if you haven't had your vacation yet, or if you've already had your vacation. Let us know where you went, or if you are on vacation right now, let us know where you are.
Yes.
Yeah, because we want to live vicariously through you, because we haven't been anywhere.
We haven't been anywhere for a long time.
Yes.
And we'd like to go somewhere. So if you are a benevolent person, please send us somewhere and we'll podcast about it for you. It'll be our pleasure to. We're very good travelers, you know.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes. But yeah, I think
that's it. I think we're off on our travels now.
I think we've run that right into the ground.
Run it into the ground or into the sand.
The ground, yeah. So,
do all the things.
Do all the things, yeah. You guys know what to do. And we appreciate you listening, and we hope you'll
Thank you for listening.
And listen to our podcast on Thursday, and just keep listening.
Keep listening.
If this is your first time here, go back and listen to all our previous
from the beginning.
Yeah, we have I don't know, I think we're up to 60-something podcasts now.
67.
We'll have to do something maybe when we get to the 100th. Maybe when we get to the 100th, we'll do a big giveaway or something.
We'll do a big giveaway. Yeah, we'll give away our house.
Yeah. Anyway, bye.
Goodbye.